Welcome, everyone. You are listening to and perhaps watching Hot Sauce Sports. I'm your host, Piz Del Rees. I hope everyone's doing well. Terry, how's the world?
The world is fantastic. It
Awesome.
is unbelievable. The world is even better now since it looks like we just signed on another sponsor. Remember Gianni Satino? We had him on a few weeks ago.
I do remember Gianni Satino. He tried to make us smarter. He failed miserably.
Yeah.
Not his fault. Not his fault at all.
But now he's going to make us richer.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going to make you richer in the process.
So
Exactly.
he just messaged me now. So I'll just sending everything over, and we're gonna finalize. So we're gonna be doing it's Hot Streaks. So Hot Streaks is a fantasy thing. It's a daily fantasy. I've been doing it. It's not even daily fantasy. It's like every 3-minute fantasy. So
Yeah.
you basically
It's like Rick
That's my
Pitino's
favorite
fantasy.
type of fantasy, yeah.
yeah.
Goddamn Eagle went with the same joke at the same time.
I mean, a lot of my fantasies don't last more than 180 seconds. So
Yeah, well, you're not trying to please your hand, so.
yeah, and it's in basketball too. So it's gonna be perfect, aligned with Shtib and Zhang and the We Got Balls new podcast that we brought on. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
So
I'm very
details
excited.
to come.
So it's kind of cool because forever, you and I, Terry, we've kind of grown up listening to sports radio, right? And
Yeah.
we if we pull back the curtain for a second, we are a show that makes fun of sports radio while
Yeah.
also loving sports radio and all the themes that go with it. So we're a walking contradiction. And-
I was obsessed with Dan Patrick.
Oh, I love that. He was my favorite show. Like from then, and
Keith Olbermann back then, remember?
loved it. Colin Coward when he wasn't completely crazy. All the classics. But one of the things that always drove me crazy is like you listen to these ads, and we do these ads too, and it's cool to have them. And obviously we love Mike's barbecue sauce and all the different companies that do support us. But I always said like there has to be a different way, and so what's cool with Gianni's company is we're gonna do something interactive. We're gonna actually partake. It's not just like a company we say, hey, we use this company, and to our credit, we actually all do use Mike's Barbecue Rub. And this is another company where people get to actually see us engaging with the product, using the product, and something that speaks Terry's. I know for you and I specifically, we love the daily fantasy stuff. We love the fantasy sports in general. And this is our way in. You know what I mean? This is our way to really enjoy that time with our sponsors.
Yeah, we'll be doing live streams. So on the live streams, like we'll be able to bet, and we'll give you guys like promo codes and stuff like that. So the only thing is now it's a little iffy with Canada. I think it might only be available in the States. So I don't know unless I don't know. We'll have to see with them. But
Well, you've been using it.
we're working on that.
Terry.
Yeah, he whitelisted my number, so it's very
I
different.
see, yeah.
So I don't think he'd be able to do it for the entire country, unfortunately. So we'll see.
What? Why not? Gianni Satino
So-
for Prime Minister.
So we'll see what happens with that, but we're working on it. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, so look, either way, we'll be on it. We'll get to showcase this product to the Canadian market early, and I'm sure our streams will be used in the States too. We also have listeners, we have viewers who are in the United States as well, so they can jump on that right away. And also, for those who will be, we'll be welcoming a new audience as well. So it really does feel like more than just a sponsorship. It feels like a partnership with an organization, and that's really fun to me. That's a really fun idea.
Oh, in the meantime, go check them out. It's Hot Streaks online on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. So I follow them on Twitter. They follow me as well. So Hot Streaks. Go check them out. See the platform. It's actually pretty sick. I just lost a couple bets now, just so I can show you guys the platform. So did I win this one? No, I lost. So refunded. I got refunded.
Nice.
I don't know how that happened. So example. So I took that Tyler Hero would get over 0.5 points in the next 180 seconds. He got 2 points.
Mhm.
And then I also bet. So you have to pick 2 players.
Yeah.
You have to pick 2 players. So I chose Sabonis in the same game to get over 0.5 points. And for some reason, I got refunded. Maybe he scored 0.5 points in the first time in the history of the
He
NBA.
scored
I don't know.
exactly half.
It's a
point.
push. It's a push. No, I think he might have gotten injured or something. I don't know why, so it was refunded. But before that, I've won a few bets. I've won a few in here and there, and it's been good. And they match. So if you're in the States and you're listening to this, you contribute and they match up to your as a bonus.
It matches your first deposit.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's really exciting. We'll get myself on it. We'll get the other boys on it. We'll all get whitelisted. It'll be fun. Definitely looking forward to that. Terry, what you got coming up on Weekly Sauce?
Tonight we have Chris Aki of the Montreal Alouettes. We've been super Alouettes heavy the last few weeks. But we've banked. This is going to be like the fourth interview we've banked, so we're going to be good. I'm not going to have to talk to Alex for the next 4 weeks, which is fantastic.
That's amazing. That's a win.
Yeah.
We had a guest fall through this week. We're working on it for next week. I won't say who it is because in case it doesn't come through, but it's a guy who's sort of got some local pull, and a guy who also played in the NCAA, was on the roster in the tournament. I'm not sure if he actually played in the tournament or not. But if you're into the Montreal basketball scene, you might know who I'm talking about. If not, you'll find out hopefully next week. And if not, we're gonna pretend like I never said anything.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, Eagle, I know you saw this. Lil Nas X.
I saw it today too.
He put out some sneakers, and so like for those who.
Oh, you're talking about the sneakers?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the music video.
Well, the sneakers are a way for us to get into the music video as well. But so, okay, you want to start with the video? We'll start with the video. So he's banging Satan, or is he getting banged by Satan?
No, he's riding down a pole to hell, and then he gives Satan a lap dance.
Yeah, right. but at some points he kind of like, it's as if he's getting pushed back, from Satan. Then he kills Satan, and he becomes Satan. Okay, listen. I'm all for creativity. It's fine. It's a video. It is what it is. The song is awful.
The song is terrible.
So let's not make this a popular song because the song is awful.
But so credit to Lil Nas X. I mean, it's working. It's getting attention.
Imagine you make a bad song on purpose. You're like, let's see how many people I can get to download this based on a shitty music video.
Well, the thing is that it's getting attention. The people who hate it are the ones who are getting it attention, right? Like, and even he said like, there was, I think it was a senator said something about, how, you're selling your soul and you can't ever get your soul back. And he's like, listen, man, you're getting all worked up about a CGI pole and Satan in the music video. Run your damn state.
Yeah, exactly. Like, also,
don't worry about what I'm doing.
Also, on the other side of this is that people are fucking outraged by Apu on The Simpsons and Dr. Seuss, and if Winnie the Pooh is wearing pants. Yet this video is very okay because it's open.
Well, the hypocrisy is the one that I really love, right? The same people screaming at cancel culture are now screaming for a guy to get canceled.
Exactly.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's again, we say it every week. Every week we get on this show and there's some form of fake Twitter outrage. Whether it's that you're, bothered by Pepe Le Pew or defending Pepe Le Pew, both are stupid because who cares? You never cared about him 2 weeks ago. Why'd you care about him last week? And now like Lil Nas X, like, yeah, I saw the video. It's fine, I guess. It's not really my thing.
It's not even a good video. It's just a weird video.
I honestly, I feel like it's a bit of a troll because Lil Nas X also, like, there was, like, rumors of him being gay, and he's mentioned. Is he gay? Is he out officially?
Yeah, it's official. Yeah.
Okay, so
very out.
I was gonna say that I didn't want to like put it out there without it being true. So instead of checking the sources, I just hoped Eagle would check it for me. Thank you for doing your job, Eagle.
Also, he's the guy that sings that song. I'm gonna take my host to the hotel room, right?
Old Town Road.
No, it's not.
It's only a classic.
No.
It's only a classic by Billy Ray Cyrus.
By Billy Ray Cyrus.
Remixed.
Not by Lil Nas X. So I'm saying he sings that song. He redid that song. I'm going to take my host to a hotel room. Is he calling men hoes or is he calling women hoes?
Cancel him, I guess.
I also want to point out,
if it's calling men hoes, I'm offended.
There is quite literally a show called Lucifer where the man who is the devil is banging chicks left, right, and center, and the same Karens screaming for Lil Nas X to be thrown off the TV and everything are loving this guy because he looks like this.
Yeah, because he's hot. I mean,
he's pretty sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't stop watching that show because he's hot.
So I'd give him a lap dance in Satan in hell. Absolutely. I would give him a lap dance in hell for sure.
See, all Lil Nas X to make this all right was to cast him as the devil, and it worked.
Problem solved.
And then we'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
They came up. So for those of you guys who aren't down with sneaker culture, whatever, there are boutiques that sell modded sneakers, like modded Jordans and whatever. So Lil Nas X in conjunction with one of these boutiques did a limited run of these quote unquote Satan shoes that contain a small portion of someone's blood. I also
drop,
know,
apparently,
whose
of
blood it
human
is.
blood. I can only imagine it's the Chinese workers that fell into the machinery.
So I was thinking about this. There's no metric value to a drop, right?
Yeah, it could be like a big drop, a little drop. Some people might have more blood in their shoes.
Yeah.
Like, all I know is if I try to dunk and can't get there, my shoes have too much blood.
You know what I think it is? I think they did like a whole jug full of like red liquid, and then some guy just poked a dot in his finger and went over it and dropped one droplet of blood, and then that is spread throughout this container of red liquid that isn't blood, and then that was put into the shoes, and then they marketed it as a drop of blood because their drop has no metric value.
Listen, you know what it could also be, though? It could be that the same blood centers that are refusing blood from homosexuals, it's those blood bags that are now being put into shoes instead as like a fuck you back to the blood.
Well, then the outrage is really going to get up there, Eagle.
Yeah.
I'm
not really because those people, chances are they wouldn't buy those shoes.
That's true. I'm only outraged by two things: that I couldn't get these shoes, and I also lost out on the Syracuse orange Nike Dunks that came out this morning. So missed out on both.
I feel like you miss out on a lot of shoes.
Liking running shoes is you missing out on most pairs. That's what your life it becomes. It's like baseball. It's a sport built on failure. You know,
it's like I can imagine like a support group for a bunch of guys who actually get the shoes. It's like, fuck, I actually got the shoe this morning.
Well, there's a whole thing on Twitter about like posting when you get the shoe. Like that's like the best thing about getting the shoe, it seems, is people going on Twitter saying got it with the snap. And then if you're in Canada, my God, the quantities are nothing compared to what you get in the States. So it's harder to get them here than anywhere else.
When you get the shoe, is that like your life is complete? Go jump off a cliff now wearing the shoes?
What happens is then, Eagle, especially if you know anything about my specific personality, and I imagine a lot of people are also like this, it's on to the next one. What's the next one I want to get?
I feel that way about hockey cards. And I feel that way about hockey cards. And you know how
I'm frozen.
It's okay. Frozen. We can still hear you. Frozen. We can still hear you. No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. So you're good, Peace. Now we can see the top of your head.
I'm back. All right. Sadness for a second.
So you know how hard it is for me to like not open these cards right here? My brother and I split these, and I told him, like, you want to open them together? He's like, yeah, sure. But I haven't had a chance to see him. #COVID. And so you know how hard it is for me not to open these? This is like the rookie. Like there's rookie cards in here. Mm-hmm. There's what's his name? Holy Kaprizov. His rookie cards in here. It's worth like $500. It could be in this box, and I haven't opened it. That's self-control right there.
Maybe you don't open it.
It's not in the box.
Yeah.
It's more likely it's not in the box. But it could be Eagle.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth $500.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you leave it unopened,
could be Eagle. So fuck you.
If you leave it unopened, Terry, it's got so much inherent value because you can't put a price on Hope. So
no, Hope.
I'm pretty sure you can because he paid for that pack.
That's true. You can put an exact value on Hope. My mistake. And with that, it's time for the news. Terry's the news. Did I call the show Hot Sauce Sports again? Did I do that?
It's not for work.
No, but did I call it? What did I call it at the top?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
You've been listening to Not Sauce for Work, and please continue to do so.
All right.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
So the NCAA tournament. So the format's been kind of weird this year. Like they changed the TV schedule. I don't hate it because I'm one of these guys who's up late anyway. And so if you give me sports on a Monday and Tuesday night that are like, basically playoff sports that have sort of these greater implications than regular season sports, that's a lot of fun. I do enjoy it. I do kind of also miss the daytime sports though. So I wish there was just more basketball to gamble on. Is that just because I'm a degenerate?
So I've been actually like super up on college basketball, and the reason why is I'm playing like in-play games. I'm up like $700. I'm up like $700 just on one site, and So I've been like doing like in play games, and it's I bet the unders on a lot of them, and I know a lot of people are mad, and I like the basketball, I guess, because I have some money riding on it. But at the end of the day, basketball is basketball. Like I appreciated USC's defense against who they play against in the Sweet 16. They smoked them. I'm not drawing a blank. Not Baylor. Was it Baylor?
No, Baylor.
Moved on.
Baylor advanced.
No, Baylor advanced. They played Arkansas.
Yeah. Was it Utah?
No, it wasn't Utah. It was after them.
Oh, that was way back.
USC. Who did USC play? Ah, man.
USC
Anyway.
Gonzaga in this round, and in the previous
No, they
round
lost to Gonzaga.
I know. Hold on, I'm looking.
I won
They
some
beat
money on that.
Kansas?
They beat Kansas 85-51, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that. It was in between the games. Sweet 16.
The Sweet 16 was what I just said. Oh, they beat Oregon.
They beat Oregon.
Oregon, that's it. Yeah, Oregon. So that's why I saw green. So their defense was unbelievable. Like I even messaged a few friends that I know are basketball fans. I'm like, are you guys watching this? Like USC's fucking like their defense is unbelievable, and it's like it's known across the board. I know nothing about college basketball, absolutely nothing. Ask me in 3 weeks from now who won the tournament. I wouldn't be able to answer the question.
It's going to be Gonzaga.
It's going to be Gonzaga. Hopefully it's Gonzaga.
They're so overwhelming. There's not a lot of teams in this tournament that have like, the third and fourth guy can score, and that you just can't game plan them. Like, you're gonna have to score 80+ points to beat them. There's not another way to beat them.
What I love about Gonzaga is how they always have like that random white guy that isn't gonna play in the NBA, but is having like a sick tournament. Like that guy Kispert and that other guy Timmy. Yeah, Timmy's the guy with the handlebars.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, number one, man. Number one.
And they just have like this like country boy thickness to them.
That, aren't they in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, but like the thing is that Gonzaga is Washington State.
Washington State, okay.
But they just have this like they look like what you would cast in a farmhand in a movie, but that is not the kind of athleticism that really flies in the NBA because the game is so much faster. But in college basketball, you can really just bully smaller athletes, and it works out for them. So
I love how Timmy
how they've recruited.
That guy Timmy draws a foul last night, and he just stood under the basket, draws a foul, whatever, and then the announcer basically says, "Oh, not known for his shooting ability or anything else, rather, but he takes a really good foul there." And I'm like, you know what? That's gonna be his claim to fame for the rest of his life, is I played good defense on a very good team, and that's what he's gonna be.
Yeah,
that kid's thugs that they have, unbelievable.
Yeah, the shooting in this tournament in general has been pretty bad. Michigan loses to UCLA after missing their last 8 shots, including the buzzer beater by Franz Wagner, Wagner is replacing Isaiah Livers, who was supposed to be their starter, and he just hasn't been able to play in the tournament. So you know what? Like they've milked him for everything they can, and it sucks that he didn't hit the buzzer beater. But you will miss more of those than you'll make. It's just the way it goes.
I felt like with Michigan is that they were forcing it to Wagner way too often. Like they were just like
late
pushing,
in the game for no reason.
pushing. Yeah,
but they were scoring inside the entire game, and then they're like, okay, let's have Wagner try and take every 3-pointer available, and it's like, but you're winning, and they can't stop the inside game. Especially when you're going to pick and roll. They had no answer at all, and they kept going. They kept going to shoot from the outside, and then on top of that, UCLA has this weird situation where basically all tournament long, the other teams have only been shooting 50% from the free throw line against them, which is terrible. So I don't understand. Like, you're not doing anything to get that. It's just sort of the way the chips have fallen in their favor.
It's like okay, we're gonna give you this opportunity. We're literally doing nothing for you to suck, and we still managed to lose this game.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. But look, either way, it's a fun tournament. I think part of the fun. And this is different from pro sports. In college sports, when you sort of have the non-blue bloods, it's kind of exciting. And that's what – okay, I mean, UCLA kind of historically was great, but they haven't been for a while. Gonzaga, they're always that team that can't get over the hump, but now they're there. Like, this is going to be a good
Well, they've been in the Final Four a few times, right? I mean, they were there a couple years ago.
They never get to the finals is the thing.
What was the name of the guy that they had, like, when the first time they really cracked into the top 4 and they made it to the finals and lost? What was his name? Adam Morrison. Yeah. When he takes the ball and he says, "This is my fucking ball." And the mustache. That's the type of guy that Gonzaga brings on, and that's why I'm a fan of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. That's
every single time.
Every single time.
So anyway, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I've enjoyed the late games, although again, it's just degeneracy.
Like, what do you got? I mean, we got Houston versus
I
Baylor.
so I have one team left for my bracket. I had Gonzaga Villanova for the finals. So I need Gonzaga to win so that my bracket is even slightly respectable.
Like I said last week, as soon as the first round finished, I knew my bracket was cooked because I had Colgate going far out, Ohio State going to the finals. They were out. So I had Georgetown going to the Sweet 16. They were out. Like a lot of my lower seed guys that I was counting on to give me points are gone. But honestly, out of all the teams, I think that UCLA Gonzaga game is the championship game. Like,
I think
as good as Houston's looked, as good as Baylor is actually.
Baylor's really good
solid.
though.
Yeah,
Baylor's
they're a really solid team.
They're probably the second best team in the nation.
But that UCLA game against Alabama, honestly, that was a great game for me because I learned a lot about college basketball watching that game. I learned about like how they foul and how and the benches and how they roll the benches. And Alabama did a really good job. They made a good comeback because they're known for their defense. They have like this defensive crazy, one of the best defensive players in the world. He won Defensive Player of the Year on their team, and he was in foul trouble within the first 3 minutes. So like that changed the whole landscape of the game, and it was pretty interesting to watch. But I like UCLA's team. I like the way they pushed, and I'm pushing for UCLA. Fuck you.
You know what? Alabama, they can go fuck themselves. Like you already have football.
And they're good at basketball. Like they've had some big names. Like Robert Horry is a Bama guy. Like there's a few good Bama players.
The team has never really excelled, right? Like they've produced a couple of players, but stop. Yeah. It's enough winning football championships. In the NFL, I saw this story, Terry. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but Jared Goff and Coach McVay, that relationship seems to have been severed. And it's something that happened after the Super Bowl season where it really was a clash of personalities. And we now, of course, we live in a world where you go to most sports blogs and sports sites and, unless you win a championship, you're either amazing or you're trash. But the reality is most guys who, like Goff will probably have a 10, 12-year career. He's not trash. He's fine.
He's a good quarterback.
He's good. If things are right around him, he'll be a good quarterback. If he's not, then if things aren't set up for him, he won't be. But that's the majority of good quarterbacks in the NFL, guys like Matt Ryan, guys like Matt Stafford. But I think the thing that people seem to miss is that the NFL locker room is a workspace, and sometimes you don't get along with your boss, and that seems to be what happened there.
I mean, how many people actually get along with? How many quarterbacks actually get along with their head coach? Like, I have this feeling that Brady and Belichick didn't really like each other that much. They just had a professional relationship and they respected each other professionally. I have the same feeling with Carr and Gruden. I feel like they don't like each other, but they're trying to get along and they're trying to do it for the team, which is the best way to go about it. Nothing wrong with not liking the person you work for or work with.
But I feel sometimes it's so the differences are so vast that you can't get over, right? Like this person's this type of personality, this person's that kind of personality. Most times, again, because very few things are actually that polarizing, most times people can work it out. But this one seems like the laid back nature of Goff and the in your face nature of McVay, that didn't work.
Ain't working.
No.
So I do have kind of a question for you guys here. Obviously, McVay's been touted as this great, football IQ guy, being able to do things. There was a whole conversation about how, pre-snap, he would basically tell Goff how to read the field and do stuff. Do you think eventually McVay said, fuck this shit, I can get someone with way better skill who I don't have to work as hard for that can run the exact same system with? Or do you think McVay kind of failed Goff in not adapting to his limitations?
I think what happened here, and it happens often, is where you kind of you reach the maximum of the amount of potential you can give each other. You know what I mean? Where I think Goff and McVay, they made the Super Bowl. They had the year after was a flug. And then last year, they played well, but in a tough division, didn't really figure it out. They could have made it they could have had a run in the playoffs. They ended up losing. So I just think that they reached a point in the relationship where they're like, you know what, this isn't working anymore. Goff is like, you know what, if that's the situation, then trade me to another team. And he might have given a list, he might have not, but I think that it was a very mutual breakup. I feel like it was one of those breakups where you know what, I really don't mind not being around you. And and then it just kind of happens. It's all right, you know what? It's a good point. Let me go get a guy who's better than you at your job. And then you start dating some person that's better looking than the person you dated before. Look at that.
So, sometimes you buy a beautiful steak or Chilean sea bass, or something.
No
where
sea
it's
bass in Chile, by the way. Just letting you know.
fair, but it's still the name of the fish.
I don't know.
Or black cod, if that makes you happier.
There you go.
You bring it home and you're like, you know what, this is gonna be great. And then as you're preparing it, you sort of have that doubt creeping over your mind, like, what if I fuck this up? I feel like when a quarterback gets a giant contract, sometimes they're like, awesome, I have all this money. Man, what if I can't live up to that? You know what I mean? Like, there's some inherent pressure that comes with that, and I feel like, he went home with the expensive steak. That's all.
And in your analogy,
Mhm.
the team would have bought the expensive steak.
So you're saying Jared Goff is a piece of meat?
I'm calling Jared Goff a piece of meat is what I'm doing right now.
I mean, he's no Lucifer, but
He's no Lucifer, but he's up there. He's like a good piece of filet mignon,
Absolutely. Not
Where
a lot of
Lucifer
fat,
is like a rib
clean.
steak.
Yeah. A
ribeye.
That one that you need. He's a tomahawk cut. Like there's
exactly.
those bones. I like that. The Dolphins were very active. Terry, this is an exciting time. Like you're a Cowboys fan, so you've dealt with this your whole life. Where even if the Cowboys are bad, they're always in the news. The Dolphins, basically, since Dan Marino retired in my youth, have never been in the news. When they were, it's because Lawrence Phillips killed somebody or Ricky Williams was smoking weed. But now
Don't forget the cocaine of the offensive line coach.
Don't forget Richie. Don't forget racist gate of Richie Cognito and that other guy,
God.
Martin.
It's only anything terrible.
Don't forget Ocho Cinco when he beat his wife.
Was he in Miami? No,
I think he was with the Bengals.
No, he was with the Dolphins.
It was the Dolphins. Oh, he was.
It was the first year, and he got cut on Hard Knocks. Remember?
Yeah, the guy cut him. Your coach, Regis Philbin, whatever his name is. What was his name?
Yes, let's just call him
Philbin.
What was his name?
Regis Philbin.
No, Philkin. What was it? He was a really old guy. He shouldn't have been a head coach in the NFL. What was his name?
He was from the Packers, Eagle. He was a Packers offensive coordinator.
Really old guy, skinny, tall.
He was awful though. Well, hold on, I'm gonna find it.
You'll get
Philbin or something.
Philbin, yeah, I think it was something Philbin.
Philbin, it was Philbin.
Joe Philbin.
What?
Joe Philbin, I think. Hold on, let me look.
Joe Philbin, that's it.
Yeah, it's Joe Philbin, exactly. Yeah.
Joe Philbin. So Regis, I wasn't way off. I just called him Regis.
Yeah, he's Regis from now on. He's just.
Are you sure it's Philbin?
Yeah,
I'm looking at it right now. Philbin, Joe Philbin. He was there from 2012 to 2015, and he had a 462 record.
I feel like the Regis joke was underused. Like nobody went there, and it's just because the Dolphins weren't relevant.
Yeah,
but they went from being a tire fire to like they actually they seem like a good organization. Like you don't, they're not amazing, and they were almost a playoff team, but they went from being terrible and laughing stock to being one of these teams that is really good at handling draft capital, seems really good at the way they handle players and personnel, and people have started to have some expectations for them. So, and that's the first time in my adult life that's the case. They trade down from the third pick. They turn Larry Tunsil into 3 more first rounders and a third rounder, and then they trade back up to the 6th, losing one of those picks. To me, that was a slam dunk. Like
unbelievable.
You gained a whole lot of picks just to move down three spaces. Like
it's unbelievable what they've done with their draft capital. It's crazy to me. I think that the amount I said this as soon as they got all those draft picks and they just said, fuck it, fire sale. Let's just get as many picks as we can. We're going to build for the next 10 years. I said in 3 years, we're going to see Miami in the Super Bowl. And I really feel that way. We got 2 years left in that.
I think so too.
I really do. I really think that we're going to see them in the Super Bowl.
For this all to work, Tua has to pan out, right? Because you need the quarterback.
But I think that with all these picks, the NFL, the way it's built now, is you need additional pass rushing. You need an offensive lineman. They're going to be able to get those. You need a third receiver. They're going to be able to get that.
If you're Miami, you need a first receiver because
exactly.
Is all right, but there's a reason why most guys don't break out in their 6th year.
And there's a ton this year. You can even go two receivers in the first round. There's even a few guys that are ranked in the 2nd round, like that kid from USC, Amron St. Brown. That kid is unbelievable. There's some guys there's guys around there. It was like, okay, we're gonna be able to really fill our squad and build it for the next couple of years. And Tua, with a full season under him, I think he'll be fine. I was a Tua hater, but after watching what he did last year, I think that he can be an effective QB, not like Russell Wilson numbers, but I think he could be an effective QB in the NFL.
The thing is, I feel like people reacted to the whole it's not common for a rookie quarterback to get pulled for the veteran a couple times during the season, but like, I mean, it's kind of the way quarterbacks used to have to be groomed in the past, right? So just because they didn't leave him out there in bad situations, I don't think it speaks anything about like if he stays in the game and then they lose anyway, then like people
What's
have
the
a better
difference?
people would have a better perception of it, and it just seems weird to me. I thought he did fine, like maybe
But
he'll be
you can kill somebody by you can kill
yeah.
a quarterback's ego by keeping him in. Let's say the guy's like
David Carr is the example.
exactly. There's that quarterback that for the Patriots. He was the backup for Tom Brady, and he was supposed to be the starter. Then they signed Cam Newton last year. He's still there. He's a
Jared
Jimmy
draft.
Garoppolo.
No.
Jared Stidham.
Just did him. Okay. That guy came in, threw a couple picks, and Belichick's like, okay, you're out. Like, we're putting Brady back in there. Like, you don't want to kill them. And it's the same thing with goalies in the NHL, right? When they're getting peppered, if they let their fifth, sixth goal in, coach is going to take them out. That's not because the coach thinks that the next goalie going in is going to miraculously make a save that's going to fire up the team. They're going to score a goal. He's protecting the team. He's protecting the player. He's protecting the team. And that's the only reason why.
Unless it's Hall of Fame goaltender Patrick Roy.
Which I was at that game, by the way.
I know, you told me.
Yeah, that game was absolutely ridiculous. We were like, my dad was like, I don't know what's going on here. I was like 10 years old.
The NFL is moving to 17 games. It's more gambling. Another week of fantasy football. Another week for me to beat down Terry in fantasy football. So,
which means we can actually do bye weeks now, right? In fantasy football.
That's true. Well, I think we'll have to, right? Because it's going to be an odd number of games.
No.
I guess not. I guess it doesn't matter.
I mean, depends how many teams you have.
That's true.
If you can have an odd number of teams now.
Imagine getting the bye week 1 though. Like that's the most exciting fantasy football ever is, because like you're full of hope. Or is it better because now you have 2 weeks before your team sucks?
Exactly. That's the way I see it. I'm like, now I can postpone the sucking.
Yeah, it's true.
How did the NFLPA let this go through without adding a second bye week in or anything for the players? I don't understand.
A lot of players are pissed. That's for sure.
It's a story I've been tracking that the NFL's player union is pretty terrible. It's largely built with anti-labor lawyers who were weirdly in charge of the union, and the way that they've been getting a lot of votes in is that the bulk of the NFL voting players are not the superstars. They're not the ones making the most money. The bulk of the players are the players who are on rookie deals, who likely will have 3-year careers, and they see this as an opportunity to get one more game check, and it's like, that's awesome, I'm going to vote for that. Whereas the players who are going to be around for a second or third contract, they don't like this because they didn't get enough. We're heading towards a work stoppage in the NFL.
I think that we're gonna see a shutdown. We're gonna see a lockout, and it's unfortunate. It really is. But to my point about fantasy, you said the best part is the week 1. The best part of fantasy football is the drafting. I couldn't give a fuck about the rest of the season. I really don't. Drafting in any fantasy league is the best.
I'm the opposite, where I know that none of those players will be on my team at the end of the season anyway. Yeah. So I just draft for value and then trade away the names.
You trade all of them. I hoard the fuck. I get so attached to players. It's crazy.
I make a season-long plan. Like, okay, week 8, this person's going to be on bye, so I need a quarterback specifically for week 8.
I never even look at that. Again, I'm going to trade everyone by week 4, so it doesn't matter. Except if you're Raheem Mostert, and I'm just in love.
He's a good guy to have.
So how do they figure out what the 17th game is? It's the corresponding seed in a randomized division, essentially?
Yeah.
So you can that mean... So as a Green Bay fan, I have to play Patrick Mahomes this year?
You might have to play.
Yes.
I do. It's Green Bay, Kansas City.
It is?
Yes, it is.
How do you know?
It's a great game, but yeah. They already released the schedule.
The whole schedule?
No, they released who's playing who.
The combination of what the 17th game is equivalent to, so you know who you're matched up against.
Okay, They released the teams you're playing against and where they're going to be playing. Okay, like they always do, like the home and away. All right, cool.
After last week's show, the NBA trade deadline passed. It was the day after. I say it all the time. We do the show on the weirdest day. We do it on like the slow news day. So we always miss stuff like the NBA trade deadline, but a lot of stuff happened. We don't know how any of it will affect teams. I'm confused by some of the stuff, and I think some of the stuff is actually pretty good. The Orlando Magic just decided, you know what? We have a pretty good team, but that kind of sucks. Let's move everyone. They moved
Orlando Magic is like full. They're like full rebuild.
Yeah.
Like, well, let's get rid of all our good players, and let me
so-
just go rebuild.
The thing is, I don't think any of their. I think the combination of players they had were solid, but none of them are good enough. Like so.
All secondary roles. Though.
Yeah, Nikola Vucevic goes to the Bulls. Fun for them that they get a player to watch, but they get back Wendell Carter and Otto Porter. Wendell Carter, basically, he's a younger version of what Nikola Vucevic is, just a limited center, so whatever. Otto Porter is just not going to be on the roster next year, so it doesn't matter. It's a salary dump. Aaron Gordon goes to the Nuggets. He's a nice guy who does, some stuff. And Evan Fournier is named after Gangrene of the Dick. I'm not joking. He tweeted it out.
Gangrene.
Eagle, look it up. You're going to vomit.
No,
Don't
thank
put
you.
up a picture on the screen, though. It's gross.
Wait, is it Fournier or Evan?
Fournier. Evan would be a weird name for it.
So he's not
Man,
named
they got a
after.
bad case of the Evans.
So he's not named after it. His family name.
His family, I think his family was the first family to get Gangrene of the Dick.
All right. But there was a lot of signings, and I think that Andre Drummond trade. It was just all over the place.
Andre Drummond wasn't a trade. It was so Drummond got bought out.
Oh, okay.
That allows him, because now his salary is largely being paid by the Cavs. He gets a sign on a trade exemption for the Lakers, and LaMarcus Aldridge goes to the Nets. But I think people are kind of freaking out at the names. My favorite buyout situation was Blake Griffin. He tweeted out, I spent 2 years of people telling me I suck, and now it's not fair that I play for the Nets. So which one is it?
I think that the fact that the Lakers got Drummond is the biggest steal.
I don't think it's that big a deal.
No.
Who's he going to defend in the playoffs?
That's a good point. He might not even be on the court.
He can't. He can't be on the court unless you're playing like Ben Simmons, and even at that, Simmons is faster than Drummond.
Yeah.
Like that style of basketball, man. Like even LaMarcus Aldridge to the Nets. Like, okay, they got another guy who can shoot mid-range jumpers like Blake Griffin can. And Blake Griffin at this point is even a better three-point shooter than LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well, you said it last time. Blake Griffin made his first dunk in like a few years the other day. Blake Griffin was known, made all his money because he was able to put his balls on people's faces and dunk.
Yeah, he had his first dunk against the Pistons, and he glared down the bench. I forgot to put it in the script, Eagle. So if you find it, whenever you find it, it'd be appreciated. But I was actually happy for the dude because, again, the guy spent 2 years of people saying he sucks, and then goes to the Nets is like, well, this isn't fair. But the Nets, again, they add two guys who, at this point, Blake Griffin's defense is kind of suspect. LaMarcus Aldridge's defense is. LaMarcus Aldridge's defense is basically 3 fouls in the fourth quarter.
So out of all the signings, I think that I like Norm Powell signing the best. I think he becomes like the third option over there. And
see, I like Gary Trent going to the Raptors because he's a perimeter defender.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's a guy who I think his scoring is going to improve within, let's say, I think next year's his year 3. I think by next year we're already going to see an improvement in his scoring. And here's the dunk.
He has been shooting with a consistency.
Approaching 8 minutes to go in the fourth. Still plenty of time in this game. That's still with work to do as James Harden with the lob to Blake Griffin as he stares down the Pistons bench.
Been getting chippy. This has been.
And that's it.
Yeah,
putting balls in people's faces.
Love that it was an alley-oop. Love that it was from James Harden, and I love this stare down because he legitimately had a miserable time in Detroit. Like he's a nice guy.
It's fucking Detroit. Now we're gonna hear about Jared Goff going to Detroit and hating life over there.
I mean, unless you're Eminem, I don't think it's that enjoyable.
When you're the king of Detroit, it's very different.
The Heat actually they took a chance on getting Victor Oladipo, who's not been the same since his injury, but if he can, this is one of those inside basketball things, Terry, where his trainer is actually a member of the Heat training staff.
Okay.
So Oladipo is banking, and he's been trying to get his way to Miami for 2 years, basically. And he's banking on the fact that his trainer can bring him up to form to the point where he was basically the best or one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. And he's a decent scorer on a team that already has pretty good scoring. And it gives them they're just, again, the Heat, this team where they have 10 guys who are all tall, all fast, and can defend. And if you can return to form, that's what they have. But the interesting side for this is that the Rockets turned James Harden into Kelly Olynyk and Avery Bradley. Because they got Victor Oladipo for James Harden and then turned him into Kelly Olynyk and Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley, I think, has played 5 games this season.
The NBA is such a fucking joke. It's such a joke, man. I know you love it, man, but it's such a joke. And the fact that we know
cap space, right?
If I could talk about hockey, I'll talk about hockey playoffs. I'll be like, if the Oilers are playing against, like, Oilers are 8 seed and they're playing against the 1st seed, I'd be like, are the Oilers going to get through the 1st seed? In basketball, doesn't matter who the 1st seed is playing. It's like, are they going to be able to beat the best team in the East? And they're talking about that in the middle of the season. So it's like, we're forgetting about the bottom half of the playoff teams, and we're just like moving on to the finals. That's why basketball is a joke. And the reason why it's like that is because of the trade deadline, and because people they fire sell every year, knowing they're never going to make it. And you got to respect teams like the Indiana Pacers who keep on trying. They just can't attract big talent.
Okay, so you got to respect a team that's not successful.
You got to respect a team that drafts and trades in the offseason and does what they have to do, but they're not paying crazy amounts, and they're not hemorrhaging their future they're mortgaging their future for fucking James Harden that can't play defense.
Well, most teams don't mortgage it. Most teams are actually doing the opposite. They're building their future, because if they're not
to eventually trade the future.
Well, but like, to trade James Harden, they bring in picks, and look how many picks the Thunder have. The NBA draft is the hardest draft to get right. You have so few prospects that are franchise changing. So what happens is you need to grow your margin of error. That only works if you have more picks, right? If you get a 1st and 2nd round pick a year, then you know what? It's probably not going to work out for you. But if for the next 3 years you have 11 picks, you have a chance at hitting, like on a guy like Giannis, for example, who didn't go top 5. So that's what they're looking for. I always say in the NBA draft, you're looking for one of 2 things. You're looking for a guy to change your roster completely, or you're looking for a guy who can contribute for 10 years, and you're going to use him in a trade at some point to try and bring in someone who can change your franchise. It's just the way the game is.
Always looking for James Harden and LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you're always looking for Superman.
And now 4 of those guys play for one team on the Nets, and those 4 guys are still going to lose to the one guy that plays in the West. You know what I mean? Like, we just know what's going to happen. We know it's going to be the Lakers in the finals.
Well, the Lakers, it depends on LeBron and AD's injuries, because I think AD's injury is pretty bad. Not if AD's not there. If he's not there, they won't win.
They'll be fine. If you think that AD's not going to show up in the playoffs, you're crazy.
It depends on his physical health.
Nah,
we've seen Kevin Durant miss the finals. It happens, man. Like,
he tore his Achilles. Very different.
Yeah, well, but AD's injury is similar to Durant's. So if he comes back early, the risk is that he tears his Achilles. Okay. That's why they're being super conservative with him. Look, but I agree with you, Terry. If he's back, basically the Lakers are champions. They're the most complete team in the NBA this season.
Nuts.
This is what it is. So we don't have a guest, so we'll go straight into rapid fire.
All right, boys, I got some fun ones for you today. The first one we're going to be talking about is filling the A gap. Everyone knows Michael Strahan, 2-time Super Bowl winner. Did he get the second one too, or just the first
He did
one?
Get both, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He released a video as a way of showing that he finally repaired the famous, I don't even know what to call it anymore, tooth in his gap. Well, yeah, but I guess it's not really infamous. It's kind of a good thing, right?
That's why I don't know why he did it. I mean, it's almost like, are you going to play the video?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Go home and say I'm going to do it. It'll be don't do it. If I post, it'll be don't do it. If I talk to my friends, it'll be don't do it. If I talk to my business partner, it'll be like don't do it.
Don't do it.
I got to do what I want to do for myself now, You're the only one who knows.
No, we're just going to show them.
And you're the best.
Is he going to get rid of his lips?
I'm here.
No. And I want to get that?
Yep. Okay, ready?
All right.
Get you out of here.
Okay, yeah.
It was 2 seconds.
Here's the moment. 50 years in the making. Here we go. Let's do it.
Did you say 50 or 15?
I think 50.
He's not 50. He's not even close. He is close. Oh, wait.
I love it. Holy fuck.
I know it's going to be.
Hey, did he get a hold or something?
You like it? I don't know. I can't get used to it yet. It's a little bit strange to me.
Like
Michael Strahan is 49 years old.
it's like if
He's
Anthony Davis shaved his unibrow.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I guess
Why? Just like it's who you are at this point.
The thing is, like, I don't know why, because it's not like Strahan's not already like on TV, already beloved. It's not already like, okay, you start playing in the NFL and that was the age where like linemen were like a little thick. So like Strahan was kind of thick, but then as he got older, he like got like super lean and fast, and then like he was handsome and charming, and so you like instantly got on TV. Now you're fixing your teeth, man. Like, come on, that's not fair. Like,
Yeah, fuck you, man.
You're
Leave some
only
for the
way
rest
more
of us.
handsome than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Why do you then do that?
Like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, it's enough. It's enough, Michael Strahan.
All right. Cheeseheads for 200. Aaron Rodgers will be co-hosting or taking over the hosting from, for now deceased Alex Trebek, and then Ken Jennings, who was filling in temporarily. So he's going to be the host of Jeopardy for the next 2 weeks or so. I don't know what to think here, because I think of Aaron Rodgers as somewhat of no personality, but obviously his appearances with Pat McAfee have kind of given him a character. So is this his way of kind of like growing his brand and branching out to other things? I just don't see the connection here.
Well, I mean, we saw him on the like discount double check commercials. Like he's got like a quirky side to him, and I think that he's charismatic enough. I just don't think that he likes to play into it during the season. But I'm a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I think he could be. You could tell he's an asshole, but you can also tell that he's got a joking side to him.
So Aaron Rodgers, early in his career, basically everyone was all over his personal life, whether it was with regards to his estranged brother, and he's not close with his parents, and then they were sensationalizing his relationship with Olivia Munn. So I think when it came to the football side of things, he just sort of took his personality out. He looked at guys like Tom Brady and said, you know what, that's the way to do things, not draw attention, just sort of do my thing. The thing I was reacting to, Terry, is I kept going on Twitter and seeing people reacting like, well, this is why while Brady's getting ready, Aaron Rodgers is doing this. That's why, Aaron Rodgers is not as successful. I was like, guy, what do you do on your weekends? What do you do on your vacation time? Like, I hate this where when you leave your job as an accountant, no one's expecting you to run numbers on the weekend in your pool.
Also, Aaron Rodgers statistically is way better than Tom Brady.
Yes.
And
Even
if
Tom-
Aaron Rodgers had the offense that Tom Brady had this year, we're having a completely different conversation.
Also, I'm pretty sure these people are the same ones who think they filmed the episode the day of or something.
Yeah.
Like, they filmed them all in one day. They're half an hour. They just do them all in one shot, and you go home. So it's one day. It's one day. You can go to the spa for a day, but instead he wanted to do Jeopardy, so fine.
Fuck you.
The thing is, like, to Terry's point, which I already forgot. So let's just move on.
My point is the offense. Well, Tom Brady. Look.
So Tom Brady had it was a quote attributed to him. He's never confirmed that he said it, but it was leaked that he had said that if Aaron Rodgers played for the Patriots with the scouting and the system that they have, he would throw 70 touchdowns a season.
I believe it. I believe it.
I believe it too.
I'm waiting for which contestant he's gonna insult the most. Like, that's my favorite part. When they do like the interviews and they ask him questions about them live.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, so losers. I'm waiting for one of those moments from Rodgers. Okay, next, his old flame, coach of the Calgary Flames, Darryl Suter, goes straight into addressing Johnny Gaudreau's 500th game when asked about it.
Johnny Gaudreau plays 500 games tonight at the NHL level. I'm just wondering, mostly as a guy who's coached against him and now working with him, what have your kind of impressions been of the career he's made so far, and then what are you looking to see out of him now at this point?
Well,
Johnny
just
Gaudreau
basing on
played
his 500th game tonight, hopefully he has more energy than in his 499th game.
And that's it, boys.
Nailed it. Because who gives
Johnny
a fuck
Gaudreau plays.
that this guy played his 500th game? Who cares?
I love the lack of self-awareness, though, that he says it while falling asleep own sentence. Like, I think if the camera stayed on him for another 8 seconds, if he said a second sentence, he would have fallen asleep in a pile of his own drool.
How the fuck is Johnny Gaudreau? He's like 19 years old. How has he played 500 games already?
Well, it's like 6 seasons.
He's not. Well, no. Last year was a shortened season. I guess includes playoffs. 5. Yeah, I guess 5 seasons plus playoffs, maybe 6. He was drafted. He played his first year. I mean, I guess so.
He's 27 years old, also, Terry. You got his age wrong by like 8 years.
He also he has the best nickname, Ham and Cheese. That's his nickname.
Like it.
Johnny Ham and Cheese.
All right, next, Ink Masters. Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach Bruce Arians got a tattoo to commemorate having won this year's Super Bowl as a follow-through of what he had promised his team, so he kind of was compelled to do it. So Tom Brady has decided to find a personality on social media and posted this lovely tweet in follow-up of it saying, "Looks great, coach. I decided to get one too," with a picture of the Bruce Arians Super Bowl party boat look on it instead. Clearly he didn't get it, but oh my God. I'm loving Tom Brady on Twitter. It's so good.
The first reason why I didn't believe this is because that's like one of the hardest places and the most painful places to tattoo. And I know that Tom Brady would not want to go through that amount of pain.
But I mean, I think the point was just more, it was a fun little joke. And
it was fun. I would say, but when I first saw it, I didn't bite it because I'm like,
no,
that's an awful place to tattoo. I don't think you would ever do that.
But
I love the picture he chose. It's very
genius.
Very like, look at me. I'm a little bit jacked right now.
I'm athletic. That's also true. That's also true. I look better than when I was drafted like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
look
I'm
at
an
how
athlete, bro.
My body is. I do like the Tom Brady's having fun. I kind of wish that he would have done that when he played for the Patriots, and it was that picture of Bill Belichick on a diving board with no shirt on. Like, if you remember that picture and it came out, that would have been a sick like back tattoo. Get that as a tramp stamp. Just Bill Belichick diving into your ass.
What's a better tattoo, that or Rex Ryan's wife getting Mark Sanchez's jersey tattooed? No. Wasn't it Rex Ryan getting a tattoo of his wife wearing a Mark Sanchez jersey?
That's right.
That's like the
he
ultimate.
He tattooed himself into a cuck.
That's like the ultimate simp move. Like,
yeah.
How do you do that? And like, are you able to look at yourself in the mirror after?
What you do instead is you tattoo yourself wearing Mark Sanchez's wife.
Wearing his wife, like her skin.
Like her skin.
like a
serial killer.
So you basically get a tattoo of Mark Sanchez's wife.
And then he calls the police immediately.
Next topic, Tigerland. Investigators have announced that they found the cause of Tiger Woods' car crash, but haven't made it public because apparently they need his permission to share the information. Because, yes, that is what the police do for every single case that they handle. Any thoughts?
Well, they're hiding the information. What happened? What information are they hiding about him or about the
they closed
actual
the investigation? So I kind of think it's a lot to do about nothing. To be honest, maybe it's just my thing where I like golf and I'm a Tiger fan, and
Masters next week.
Yeah, it is. Super excited, but kind of just like, do we need to do this? Do we need to sensationalize an accident where he almost died? I'm okay with it. I think if there was cause for concern, there would have been criminal charges, and there aren't. So, is what it is. I think just people are linking the DUI from last time to this time, and I don't think that's what happened.
And last topic this week, Curry his favor. A rumor has surfaced that Steph Curry may be interested in joining the Lakers after this season. What do you guys think of that? Well, just as a general thought, and do you think it'll actually happen?
I don't think it'll happen. I don't think that Curry. I can't picture Curry in another jersey, and it's not because I'm not like some sort of Warriors lover or whatever. I just don't see it happening. Like, not necessarily that I can't picture him in another jersey. I can't picture him leaving a team that he's built for such a long time, because they're always going to pay him, right? They're always going to give him value. And I don't think they're ever going to be at a point where he's going to be like, you know what? You're not giving me what I want. I'm out.
But so like the NBA, the money's taken care of by the max contract, because like wherever he goes, he'll get the max or super max if eligible. It's never a money thing when guys change team, but I think this is something that won't happen because they don't like each other. it was very clear for a long time that Curry was happy to sort of take in the mantle from LeBron, and LeBron kind of took it personally, like, what, this little guy is going to take it from me? And then Curry went on to win 3 championships. So I think there's always been sort of like a friendly-ish animosity between them. They did play together in the All-Star game this year, and so I think that's where that rumor's coming from. But I don't see it. I don't think it's in Steph Curry's personality. Steph Curry's not ring chasing. He already has the rings. He's already the greatest shooter of all time. He already single-handedly changed the game. So I don't think he has anything to gain. I think that's why he stays in a Golden State uniform for the rest of his career.
And that's it, boys.
Actual basketball analysis. Look at that, Terry. We did a thing.
Actual basketball analysis. I also just placed a $5 bet on if Tyler Hero and Domas Sabonis would get over 0.5 points in the next 180 seconds. Up until now, the time hasn't moved, so nobody's gonna know if I won.
It's probably timeout. It's probably just a timeout. Do let us know. Listen, we do appreciate all the support that you out there have given to us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thanks to those who have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, the thing is, we're not asking you to do a lot. We're not asking you to break into your neighbor's house and eat all their cheese. That would be really fucked up.
Especially if your neighbor's a cheese connoisseur.
Yeah.
I can use some good cheese right now.
Well, if you come to my house, you're going to eat so much cheese, and it's going to cost me a fortune to replace. So don't do that. Instead, I want you to like, I want you to comment, I want you to subscribe, because if you support our sponsors, they support us, and we continue to do what we do. Thank you for those of you who have done it, and thank you for those of you who will. Terry, thank you for everything you've done on the show today. Eagle, man, strong showing by you today. Thank you for all the work you've done.
Eagle, fuck off.
Get the things that I forgot to get and put in the script. Thank you for running around for us, and thank you all for letting me be myself.
You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.
Sure.